Welcome to our first visit to Minnesota, the Northstar State, situated between the Dakotas and Wisconsin, with the Canadian border to the north. This program focuses on operations through the twin cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, north to the area around Duluth on the shores of Lake Superior, west of Minneapolis to the Canadian Pacific Line between Belgrade and Rockford, and following the Union Pacific Line from the border with Iowa south of St. Paul. Trains along the Mississippi to the southeast of St. Paul and in the northwest of the state in the regions bordering North Dakota will feature in future presentations. Meanwhile, we hope you will enjoy this journey around Minnesota. In the first section of this program, we'll sample trains viewed from vantage points in the twin cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. We begin before sunup with southbound commuter services into Minneapolis at Fridley, before heading southeast to Mounds Boulevard overlooking the Mississippi. Staying with the river, we visit the railroad bridge accessed from Sioux Avenue, before returning to commuter services at the end of the day viewed from St. Anthony Parkway. The Northstar Line 651 departure from Big Lake approaches Fridley Station bound for Target Field Terminus in Minneapolis, propelled by number 512. Northstar Commuter Rail operates on track owned by BNSF, who run freight between the passenger services. Travelling north from Minneapolis and St. Paul to the shores of Lake Superior, we explore the area between the ports of Duluth and two harbours. In Duluth, we'll focus on scenes in the docks and from the spectacular overlook on West Skyline Parkway. Before that, we'll examine the tourist line operations of the North Shore Scenic Railroad that runs from Duluth to Two Harbours. The North Shore Scenic Railroad runs on the lakefront line once owned by Duluth, Mesabi and Iron Range Railway. Approaching from Duluth, there is no direct route into Two Harbours depot, so the tourist trains head north for a short distance before setting back into the depot. Canadian National unloads iron ore taconite hoppers at the jetties to be shipped out across the lake. The North Shore Scenic Railroad is owned and operated by Lake Superior Railroad Museum, housed in the historic Duluth Union Depot. At the head of the tourist train here, at Knife River, is a preserved SD-18, number 193, built in 1960 for the Duluth, Mesabi and Iron Range Railway. A distant pair of MP15 switchers are busy going about their duties in this spectacular view from the overlook on West Skyline Parkway. For over an hour, they were the only active motive power seen from this vantage point. In the centre of the view, BNSF's yard on Rice's Point seems remarkably quiet. On the far side of the Blackneck Road Bridge lies the city of Superior in Wisconsin, where massive grain elevators flank the bridge. Our focus turns west from Duluth now, to the Canadian National through Proctor and the BNSF line through Carlton, Aitkin and New York Mills. But first we return to the overlook in Duluth at sunup. A train of taconite iron ore pellets has been unloaded overnight in West Duluth, with departure of the empty hoppers delayed by a maintenance of way possession. Believing that the empty hoppers would depart as soon as the maintenance possession was lifted, we positioned one camera on the climb out of West Duluth and the second on Kirkus Street Bridge about half a mile from Proctor Yard. This gave the first camera enough time to get ahead and catch it again at the entrance to the yard. We hope you'll agree that it was worth the 3-hour wait. As 9713 and 9812 thunder northwards, we switch back to our other camera to pick up the -9 DPU. Canadian Pacific operate the line that enters Minnesota from North Dakota at Fairmount and runs east to Minneapolis. Our journey begins at Belgrade, travelling east towards Minneapolis. Along the way, our cameras are widely separated whenever possible, giving alternative views of the trains. At Rockford, one camera is on the riverbank below the railroad bridge, while the other is at a grade crossing in town. In the final section of this program, we follow the Union Pacific from near the Iowa state border at Glenville northwards to St. Paul. This part of the line did not appear to be heavily utilised. One of the grade crossings at Glenville had suffered a barrier fault, resulting in some cautious progress. At the height of the horsepower race in the mid-90s, GE designed a 6,000 horsepower locomotive, the AC6000CW, with the 7 HDL prime mover. Unfortunately, having entered initial service with CSX Transportation and Union Pacific, they experienced mechanical problems including severe vibration that affected the turbochargers. While the problems were investigated, 106 locos were delivered to Union Pacific with the more mature 4,400 horsepower 7 FDL engine. Number 7329 is one of those, designated AC4460CW by Union Pacific. The lead loco and DPU powering this northbound manifest are Evolution Series 44AC, designated AC45CCTE by Union Pacific. Following the leader, number 3902 is an SD70M,